February 2nd, 2017. Donald Trump stands in the White House with Harley Davidson executives, motorcycles gleaming on the South Lawn. He calls Harley a
true American icon, one of the greats.
Praises the sound, the heritage, the workers. These are great American jobs, he says. Fast forward to today.
Harley Davidson recently announced it's moving some of its production to Thailand.
Those jobs, gone. The factories, moving to Thailand. The American icon, bleeding money. And Donald Trump, he hasn't said a word about it. Not one tweet, not one rally mention, not one press conference. Radio silence. But here's what insiders are saying behind closed doors. The silence isn't surrender, it's strategy. Trump isn't ignoring Harley Davidson. He's preparing to save it. Whether Harley wants to be saved or not, this is the story of how America's most iconic motorcycle brand became a pawn in the biggest trade war of the 21st century, and how one man plans to drag them back home, by force if necessary. Chapter 1. The betrayal that started it all. To understand what's happening now, you need to understand the war that's been building for 8 years. Trump loves Harley. He hosts them at the White House, poses with their bikes, calls them the beating heart of American manufacturing. But then he does what Trump does. March 2018. Trump slaps 25% tariffs on European steel and aluminum. He thinks he's protecting American jobs. But the EU doesn't roll over. They hit back, hard. June 2018. Europe raises tariffs on Harley motorcycles from
6 to 31%.
That's an extra $2,200 per bike. Harley exports 40,000 motorcycles to Europe every year. Do the math. That's $88 million in costs, overnight. Harley's response? They announced they're moving EU production overseas to avoid the tariffs. Their CEO at the time, Jochen Zeitz, a German. Let that sink in for a second, and Trump absolutely loses it. June 26th, 2018. He unleashes a Twitter storm. A Harley Davidson should never be built in another country. Never. If they move, watch. It will be the beginning of the end. They surrendered. They quit. He calls it a betrayal. He endorses customer boycotts. He threatens Harley with taxes if they try to sell foreign-made bikes back to America. And Harley? They closed their Kansas City plant anyway. 800 American workers, gone. Production moves to Thailand, Brazil, India. Trump's tariffs cost Harley $166 million in 2018 alone. The company chose globalism over patriotism, or so it seemed. For 6 years, the war went quiet. Trump left office, Harley kept bleeding, sales down, workers aging out, market share collapsing. Then Trump came back, and the war reignited, bigger than before. Chapter 2. The crisis nobody's talking about. Right now, as you're watching this, Harley Davidson is dying, and almost nobody in the mainstream media is covering it. Let's talk numbers. Q4, 2024. Harley posts an operating loss of $180 million, per their latest filings, their worst quarterly performance in years. Trump's new tariffs, 50% on steel and aluminum derivatives, are crushing them. The EU retaliates again. Projected 56% tariff on Harley exports to Europe. A Harley Road Glide that cost $28,000 in America? In Denmark, it could hit $124,000. Nobody's buying them. Quick question for the comments. If Harleys were made in Thailand but cost $5,000 less, would you buy one? Or is made in USA the only thing that matters to you? Drop your answer below. But the tariffs aren't even the biggest problem. The biggest problem? The average Harley buyer is now pushing 50 years old, up from mid-40s in 2000. In 1987, half of all Harley riders were under 35. Now, the median age keeps climbing. And here's the terrifying part. It's not slowing down. Millennials don't want Harleys. Too expensive, too loud, too boomer. Gen Z? They're not even considering them. Honda has 42% market share among riders under 30. Harley, 8%. That's not a brand problem. That's a death spiral. And here's the kicker that's about to blow your mind. August 2024. Harley quietly announces something. They're moving production of the Pan America, Sportster S, and Nightster to Thailand. But not just for export, for the American market. For the first time in company history, Harley Davidson motorcycles sold to Americans would be built overseas. The union calls it a kick in the teeth to American workers. Customers call it betrayal, and somewhere you have to imagine Donald Trump is watching, taking notes, getting angrier. October 2025. The German CEO Zeitz is out, replaced by Artie Stars, former Pizza Hut CEO. The company is in full crisis mode, leadership chaos, financial disaster, identity crisis, and that's when Trump sees his opening. Chapter 3. The MAGA Hammer. Here's what most people don't understand about Trump's tariff strategy. It's not just about raising prices. It's about creating economic pain so severe that companies have no choice but to come home. And for Harley Davidson, the pain is already unbearable. Right now, Harley faces a triple stack of tariffs, 50% derivative tariffs on imported motorcycle components, 10 to 50% reciprocal tariffs depending on country of origin, projected 56% EU retaliatory tariff on exports. The company literally cannot make money under this system, unless they do one thing: build everything in America. And Trump's made the math crystal clear. April 2025. Executive Order. Build in the United States, zero tariffs. The carrot, 3.75% price offset for American-made vehicles, 100% expensing for new factories, tax deductions for American manufacturing loans. The stick, 60% plus cumulative tariffs on anything made overseas. It's not a negotiation, it's a hostage situation. And it's working. Apple just announced $500 billion in U.S. investment. Eli Lilly, $27 billion in American factories. Auto manufacturers scrambling to bring production home. Trump's strategy isn't theoretical. It's happening right now. But here's the genius move nobody's seeing yet. Harley already has the infrastructure. York, Pennsylvania plant. Menomonee Falls, Wisconsin. 1,600 union workers, ready to go. The engines are already made in America. The frames can be. The electronics, bring it home. And here's the mechanism Trump will use to force it. Government contracts. Harley supplies motorcycles to the U.S. military, police departments, federal agencies. What if Trump signs an executive order tomorrow requiring 100% American content for all government motorcycle purchases? What if he ties military contracts to domestic manufacturing? What if he makes it so Harley can't sell a single bike to the federal government unless every bolt is American-made? Suddenly, Harley has two choices: keep building in Thailand and lose billions in government contracts, or bring everything home and survive. That's not capitalism, that's coercion, and it's exactly how Trump operates. Based on current procurement patterns, that's $1.15 billion in potential contracts, just from the government. Chapter 4. The MAGA Harley. So what does a Trump-saved Harley Davidson actually look like? Let's talk about the bike that could save the company. Sources close to the discussion say it could be called the Patriot. Not a sport bike, not electric nonsense. A pure American cruiser, inspired by the 1942 Harley WLA, the bike that won World War II. But built with 2027 technology. Here's the spec sheet. Engine, Milwaukee 8 114, air-cooled. No radiators to hide the beauty, just pure American iron. Built in Menomonee Falls, Wisconsin. Tuned to sound like a 1970s shovel head, not a sewing machine. That growl that makes pedestrians turn their heads. Back. Frame. American steel. Forged in Pennsylvania. Electronics. Designed and built in America. No Chinese chips. Leather. American cowhide. Tennessee tanneries. Paint. American made. Stars and stripes available. Every single part American. Price, $22,995. That's not cheap, but it's not insane either. And here's the psychological warfare. It's marketed as the bike for patriots who refuse to abandon American manufacturing. The marketing writes itself. While other companies fled to Thailand, we stayed home. While executives chose profits over patriotism, we chose you. This is the bike America deserves. Built by Americans, for Americans. The Patriot. You telling me that doesn't sell in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin? Trump country would eat that up. But here's the real money. Government contracts. Trump signs an executive order. All federal motorcycle purchases must be 100% American-made starting 2026. Military bases need bikes. Police departments need bikes. Border Patrol needs bikes. That's 50,000 units minimum, potentially. At $23,000 per bike, that's over $1 billion in potential revenue. Just from the government. Now imagine York, Pennsylvania running 3 shifts. 1,600 workers becomes 3,000. Wisconsin plant expands. Supply chain comes home. Steel from Pittsburgh. Leather from Tennessee. Electronics from Texas. This isn't just about saving Harley. It's about rebuilding American manufacturing, one motorcycle at a time. And the optics? Trump standing in front of a Harley factory, union workers behind him. We brought them home. We saved American jobs. We made Harley great again. That's not a campaign ad. That's a political weapon. Chapter 5, the culture war that makes it work. But here's the piece that makes this whole thing possible. The culture war. August 2024, conservative activist Robbie Starbuck goes after Harley. He exposes their DEI programs, LGBTQ training, pride sponsorships, and he calls them woke.
Harley Davidson even hosted an LGBTQ plus boot camp at their corporate offices, and look at that sweet cake they got them. Isn't that just so inclusive?
Elon Musk piles on. This doesn't sound super compatible with their customers. Within days, Harley's customer base revolts. Boycotts, angry posts, dealers getting flooded with complaints. And Harley caves, completely. They eliminate their entire DEI department. End supplier diversity programs. Remove socially motivated content from training. Pull out of all LGBTQ plus initiatives. And who gets blamed? Jochen Seitz, the German CEO. He's out in October 2025, replaced by an American. The narrative writes itself. Foreign executive nearly destroyed American icon with woke nonsense. Now the adults are back in charge. Here's what the media doesn't want to admit. Harley's core customer base and Trump's core voter base, same people. Older men, rural America, veterans, blue-collar workers. Over 60% of motorcycle riders are military or veteran. The Sturgis rally, Trump territory. Bikers for Trump claim 300,000 Facebook followers. Average Sturgis camper makes $95,000 a year. Harley's customer base didn't just vote for Trump, they are Trump's base. So when Trump forces Harley to bring manufacturing home, when he brands it as saving American jobs from globalist executives, when he turns it into a culture war victory, it's not just good politics, it's perfect politics. He's not saving a motorcycle company, he's saving an identity, and his voters will love him for it. Chapter 6, the economic weapon nobody sees coming. But let's talk about the real reason Trump cares about Harley. It's not nostalgia, it's not even manufacturing, it's the Electoral College. Look at where Harley builds bikes. York, Pennsylvania, 1,000 union workers. Menomonee Falls, Wisconsin, 600 workers. Tomahawk, Wisconsin, another few hundred. Notice a pattern? Pennsylvania, 19 electoral votes, swing state. Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes, swing state. Trump won Pennsylvania by 60,000 votes in 2024, Wisconsin by 20,000. You know what 3,000 grateful Harley workers and their families are worth? Potentially everything. Imagine Trump in 2028, standing in York, Pennsylvania. I saved your jobs. I brought Harley home. I kept my promise. 3,000 workers, times their families, times their communities. That's 15,000 votes minimum, in states decided by thousands. But it's bigger than Harley. Every Harley built in America uses American steel, American leather, American electronics. That's Pittsburgh steel mills, Tennessee tanneries, Texas electronics. Every bike creates jobs in a dozen states. And every one of those workers remembers who brought them home. And here's the message Trump sends to every other company. You can go overseas and die in my tariff war, or you can come home and prosper. Choose. Harley becomes the example, the warning, and the promise. Chapter 7, why this is actually happening. So let's go back to where we started. Why hasn't Trump said anything about Harley? Why the silence? Because he's negotiating. You don't announce your leverage before you use it. You don't telegraph your moves when you're playing chess. Trump learned that in business, and he's applying it now. New CEO takes over October 2025. First order of business, probably flying to Washington, meeting with Commerce Department, USTR, maybe even the White House. No press, no announcements, just quiet talks about what it would take. Here's what sources familiar with the negotiations are saying. By summer 2026, Trump could announce a deal, if the pieces fall into place. Harley commits to 100% American manufacturing by 2028. In exchange, tariff relief on components during transition, government contracts worth billions, tax incentives for factory expansion. York plant doubles capacity, Wisconsin plant expands, 2,000 new American jobs. But now, is all of this guaranteed? No. This only works if Trump is willing to burn political capital, if Harley decides survival matters more than pride, and if the numbers actually work out. But the infrastructure for this deal exists. The motivation exists. The leverage exists. The only question is, will they pull the trigger? The announcement could happen at a Harley factory. Trump, the CEO, union leaders. We're bringing Harley home. Campaign goal for 2028. Economic nationalism, working class jobs, American manufacturing, everything Trump's base wants to hear. And 6 months later, the first Patriot rolls off the line. 100% American. Built by union workers in Pennsylvania. Sold to a veteran in Ohio. The circle complete. The American comeback. This is bigger than motorcycles. This is about whether America still makes things. Whether we're a country that builds or just a country that buys. Harley Davidson became a symbol of American freedom in 1945. By 2025, it had become a symbol of American decline. Outsourcing, globalization, corporate betrayal. But Trump sees it differently. He sees a weapon, a tool to prove his entire worldview. That tariffs work, that economic nationalism wins, that America can make things again. And if he pulls this off, if Harley Davidson becomes 100% American again, it's not just a business story, it's proof of concept. For everything he's been saying since 2015, the Patriot isn't just a motorcycle, it's a statement that America didn't forget how to build. We just forgot we could say no to the people telling us we had to go global. Donald Trump isn't saving Harley Davidson out of nostalgia. He's saving it because he can. Because it proves he was right all along. And because in 2028, he's going to want to stand in a factory and say, I told you we'd make America great again. Here's the proof. So here's the real question. Not whether Trump wants to save Harley, but whether America should force companies to come home or let them die overseas. Type bring them home if you think Trump should use every tool, tariffs, contracts, pressure, to force American manufacturing back. Type let them die if you think companies made their choice and should live with the consequences. This isn't just about Harley anymore. This is about every American company that fled. Let's see where you stand.